What's up, everyone? This is Sonic Fan and Gamebox here, and we're back at it, guys. We're back talking about Sonic. It's almost like that's the name of the podcast. And with me again is the second co-host of the show, Gamebox.
Hello all, I'm here with my Fanta.
Honestly, that's a good selection. That's a good drink. I like Fantas.
I've just started getting
Yeah.
into them recently and they're just absolutely amazing. Love them.
Dude, such sweet flavors, such sweet nectar, the great Wyman juice. But yeah, guys. So we're here, we're back at it in our second episode, and we're just gonna be talking about more of this of our favorite blue voting and like what's gonna be happening. As you can tell from the episode title, we're gonna be delving into what 2022 is gonna hold for Sonic. But before we do that, before every main subject of an episode, we're gonna like take a little bit to just adjust ourselves, take a little bit to just settle down, just get in our groove, and we're gonna discuss some news. Okay, some news that have popped up with the Sonic community recently, and it's been an interesting week. It hasn't been super interesting, and it's not like we got like rumors of movie 3 or whatever, but we got some interesting things to talk about. With the first one being, and I'm actually really interested to hear Gamebox's thoughts on this. You probably already heard of it. You probably haven't, but apparently, according to Moyo Kishimoto, who's been out here responding to tweets furiously, he finally made an amazing Sonic game. So he's just out here like, just like, okay, guys, don't worry, we're gonna just make it an even more amazing game. All right, I love you guys. So he's been super like nice and responsive and like engaging with like the fans and like taking all the feedback and stuff. And he's been very transparent. And he recently just confirmed that he's going to be experimenting and potentially in the next mainline game, we will not have the boost feature. Instead, it might be replaced with a spin dash, and it might play more like the adventure games where instead of like going high speed as if you're some sort of roller coaster and you just gotta hold down square to earn that speed, instead you gotta like actually build momentum like you did in the classic games, like they had to do in the adventure games, or at least in some regard, the spin dash was broken. But you get what I mean. And it's gonna play more like the older 3D titles. So I'm really interested on your thoughts on that. Would you prefer they like keep the boost gameplay that we've had recently with generations, forces, colors, or are you glad that we were like returning the form with the adventure type gameplay? What do you think?
Well, you see, it's kind of hard to choose because I do like the boost formula, and I've recently started getting into Sonic Adventure 2, and it's a bit hard trying to get into what the games were originally back when Adventure and Adventure 2. But in all honesty, if that's an option, if they want to remove the boost formula and go back to spin dashes, then in all honesty, I'm up for that. I'm definitely excited to see what they've got up their sleeves.
Yeah, like I think you hit it on the nail there because a lot of people we need to realize is okay. Look, I'm an adventure simp. All right, the adventure era of Sonic is my favorite era. I make this no secret. I love the way those 3D games played. I love the huge emphasis on platforming as well as their like gigantic focus on stories. Yeah, I love the adventure era. But it doesn't matter if the next game plays like Adventure 2. It doesn't matter if the next game plays like Colors. As long as it's good, that's what matters. Okay, like we've had so many different playstyles. Sonic has played so differently in all these games. Okay, we've had the classic era, which was like these 2D games that were really intricately designed, where like there was all these obstacles that rewarded you and challenged you with gaining speed. We've had on rail games like Secret Rings and Black Knight, with the latter of which being like really enjoyable. We've had combat. We've had like racing games. We've had the adventure type games. We've had boost games. This hedgehog has experimented with so many different play styles and junk. It doesn't matter at this point. Now, okay, personally, I would like to see momentum come back in the series, but not to this Frontiers. I'm going. This leads to a larger thing, but Frontiers momentum is jack. All right, Frontiers barely has any momentum. All right, if you want to go fast, you hold down square. Okay, it's the same rule like the other past games, but Frontiers is still my favorite Sonic game. It doesn't need momentum to be a good game. It needs good, engaging gameplay, which it had. So yeah, it's not a requirement. We don't need Sonic to play a certain way. It all depends on like the game design in general. So yeah, I do agree with you, Gamebox. Even though I do have a slight preference towards, how the adventure games play, I would like to see, more platforming obstacles, more like more. It challenges you to earn your speed. But yeah, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day because I love games like Colors and Generations, which as we like with like heavily boost games. So yeah. Is there anything else you want to say in regards to that?
No, not really.
Okay, sweet. So we got our first little news story out there. Just Moyo Kishimoto's been. I really appreciate how much he's been engaging with fans. Okay, that guy has so much on his plate, and he's been out here like really responsive to really what man. Oh man, I hate words. He's been engaging with the fans a lot, and it's been like very kind. And then just he's been taking a lot of feedback. And yeah, I appreciate that about the guy. I didn't even know his existence before Frontiers came out because that's how active he's been on Twitter. But yeah, he's the goat. Even though he made Forces, he's the goat. Okay, he's the goat. So our next and last news story, because like I said, guys, it's been an interesting week, but not necessarily a fast week. It's been pretty slow in regards to news, but this one I'm really interested in. So, Gamebox, what did you think at the end of the Frontiers post credit scene when Amy just casually name dropped Sticks from Boom? What were your thoughts?
My my original reaction when I actually found that out, I was like, huh? Okay, so is Boom canon or is there a modern version of Styx? And I mean, who was the other one? Was it Tangle?
Yeah, she's from IDW.
Yeah, Tangle. I was like, oh, okay, an Ian Flynn regular. And
Yeah.
then when Styx was mentioned, it was like, oh, how's this gonna work? Is there gonna be like a modern version of Styx, or are they just gonna go with Boom design Styx? And if so, it's gonna be a bit confusing. But in all honesty, we'll just have to wait and see what the future has in store. I'm pretty much one of those guys who will be like, weird choice, but we'll see what happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I had a very similar reaction. Don't get me wrong. I was happy to see like Boom get mentioned, and like you guys are probably wondering why. Okay, because Boom Rise of Lick was a thing. All right, the show was really good, but it's not really representative of what Sonic was. It was good in its own right, but it wasn't necessarily a good Sonic show. It was a good like self parody show. So yeah, like I'm not necessarily a huge fan of the Boom era. However, it makes me happy to see all aspects of Sonic's history mentioned and be important. Like I like that. Like even stuff that I don't like Forces, I was really happy to see Infinite get mentioned. I was really happy to see they weren't ignoring the huge ramifications that story has because it's a part of Sonic's history. It's important. And like there are fans who do like those type there are fans who probably loved Boom Rise of Lyric. There are fans who probably loved Forces. And I think they deserve to have like, the things that they like hold dear, like, actually, play an important part in the series going forward. So yeah, I was glad to see Boom get mentioned. I was also confused though, because I was like, wait, so what does this mean? Because there's a lot of possibilities, like you said. Like, is Boom canon? Is it like soft canon where like the events did happen, but in a different way? Is there like a new character? I had no idea what was going on, but we finally got confirmation from Ian this week saying, okay, so he's clarified Boom is not canon, which I think we can all rejoice in. Okay, I know I just went on a whole spiel about all aspects of Sonic's history. It needs to be important, and it does. But Boom Rise of Lyric's story heavily contradicts the characterization we've seen in the main series. Okay, Knuckles is not a fucking moron. All right, Shadow isn't some edgelord idiot who wants to like kill Sonic for some reason. And yeah, it's its own separate universe, and I'm glad he also clarified that when he name dropped Styx, he got express permission from Sega, and they're totally fine with it. And it's based off of a modern version of her. So now we know for sure that Styx in that post credit scene is not the same character we've seen in Rise of Lyric, Shadowed Crystal, the show. She is the same character, but not that universe's depiction. It's a new version of the character with a new design that we've yet to see. So yeah, he's clarified that.
I'm looking forward to that.
Oh yeah, I think it'd be cool if they brought Styx back. There's a lot of characters I want to see come back. I want Rouge to be important again. I want the Chaotix to be important again. There's so many Sonic characters, so I understand why there's not room for everyone. I'm not gonna be a Resident Evil fan where I'm like, yo, in Resident Evil 9 they gotta have Jill Valentine, Jake Mueller, Chris Redfield, Leon Kennedy. They gotta have Rebecca Chambers. Like okay, like look, there's so many characters they can't put them all in one game. So I understand that. But it'd be neat if we got more spin-off titles or maybe more in-universe projects that like had these characters play over role. But yeah, going over to like the whole issue of canon to begin with, it's a mess. It's a huge mess. With Prime, I love Prime. I can't wait for more. But that show makes so many heavy contradictions, and it just doesn't fit in the main universe's timeline. IDW, I haven't read all the way through it yet. I know a lot of I know a lot of the plot beats. I just started like reading it officially. But judging from like the whole metavirus saga and stuff, it's like it is that seems like it'd be too big to just casually fit in the timeline. So I don't know. Um, yeah, the canon's a mess. We don't know what's happening. Ian and his team are working on it, and they're getting the timeline sorted, which I am a fan of. But yeah, what are your thoughts, Game? Do you want to see things like stabilize more? Like, what do you have any problems of like how the current timeline's being treated? Would you prefer if things were canon, or are you happy that everything's canon? Like, what are your thoughts?
Honestly, with the whole Lorne stuff and it being a mess, it's kind of the question is like, how are you gonna be able to fix that? Because I remember a while back, Azuka was on an interview. I think it was Azuka, or what was I don't know why, but I couldn't remember who it was. But they said that some of the games, there's a human world and there's an animal world, and it's like, oh, okay, what's going on here? It's kind of like it's really confusing when you try and put two and two together. But in all honesty, it just creates like a big mess, and there's like story things that aren't really solved, like Sonic Adventure 2's ending with the moon. I believe it was.
No! They gave an official explanation. They don't worry. It makes complete sense. So the reason why we can't see the giant hole in the moon that got blown up in Adventure 2 is because the moon turned away and it's facing
Oh,
the opposite side. That's the official explanation they gave. So no, Game Eyes, it makes sense. Don't worry about it.
for fuck's sake.
Oh fuck! I love it. I love how much of a mess Sonic stories are. Oh my god.
I mean, they couldn't really think of like an idea to come up with a better excuse than that.
I mean, to be fair, they wrote themselves in a corner because Adventure 2, they blew up half the moon, and then in Heroes, it's just completely fine. So, like, they had to think of something, and it's like, well, we can't have someone thinking, we can't just have the moon just get magically repaired, so it's facing the other way, guys. Someone actually proposed a cool theory where, like, they could have had, like, a spin-off GBA game, and maybe, like, Sonic uses the emeralds to, like, fix the moon, because the emeralds, like, they have the power to like fix environments and stuff. Because we see at the end of Sonic 1, like Sonic uses like 6 of the emeralds to repair all the damage done on West Island, or what was the South Island, one of which. And yeah, so like they can repair the environment. So it's like just say, oh, after a while, like Sonic went to the moon as Super Sonic and used the emeralds to repair it, and now it's like whole again. That's all they had to do. But no, it's turned the opposite way, so we can't see the hole. Oh fuck.
I have no idea how to really give my thoughts on that excuse. It's like, oh god, like
It's funny.
trying to think about it. It's like, oh my god, what are we doing here?
Oh, dude, and yeah, like, I know, probably some people are probably gonna roll their eyes when I was like, "Dude, the canon's a mess now." I know, guys, I'm not an idiot. The canon has always been a mess. The timeline has been convoluted. There's been so many different contradictions. '06 alone probably left like 10 million different like holes in the overall like story. It's weird, but like the problem the problem with me, like Sonic stories have always had plot holes. Adventure 2 has a bunch of plot holes. Still my favorite Sonic story in out of any of the games. '06 has plot holes. Heroes even has some. Shadow has some. There's plot holes everywhere. Whatever. It's a children's franchise. That's not an excuse for the like lazy or poor writing, but like it's a wacky series, so I can suspend my disbelief enough to be like, oh, whatever. Like I can pretend they're not there. My problem comes whenever characters start getting mischaracterized. That's the big issue, and like this sparks the debate that I've seen on Twitter, where a lot of people are upset with Prime Sonic also being the same as modern like Game Sonic, because those two characters are not the same. Modern Game Sonic is a super overconfident, like level-headed, like nomad dude. Okay, he's not a hero. He doesn't have a home. He's not like cowardly or whatever. I'm not calling Prime Sonic cowardly, but like he doesn't really get scared that often. He actually loves danger. And Prime Sonic is just I love Prime Sonic. I think like it's a good character in its own right, but it is wildly inconsistent with like the Sonic that we have in the games. And it makes the story so much harder to take seriously and get engaged with when the characters just blatantly just like are that like inconsistent. And you're probably gonna be saying, oh well, there's other characters like Knuckles, who's been a bumbling idiot and now he's like back to his normal self, or Tails, who was like a coward, now he's back to his normal self. The thing about that is that Frontiers took those past games and recontextualized them to fit with the current like depictions of the characters. So like even though they have been wildly inconsistent, Tails literally says out loud he's been wildly inconsistent. Like yes, we know from outsiders looking in that it's the result of poor writing and conflicting visions, which will lead to these characters being inconsistent and like just not acting like themselves. But narratively, it makes sense. So it's like, okay, well I can still take the story seriously going forward. If you just have Sonic being a completely different character in one story and then a completely different character in another story, it just doesn't work, right? And I hope they confirm Prime as soft canon. I think that would fix so many issues. Where yes, there was a such thing as like the Shadowverse, like all of that did happen, but not as we saw it. The events happened, just not in the way we like. Just not everything in the show happened. If that makes sense, like it was the event that happened in the timeline, but not in the way not in the way the show depicts it. I think that would fix everything. But yeah, or it could just be an alternate dimension Sonic. That would also be really cool. But who knows? Do you have any more thoughts on this?
No, not really. Other than the lore's just all over the place. I
It's so
don't
fucked.
know. It's so hard. It's so hard to try and understand what's what without like going to the game and just being like, okay, so this is where we are now, and then it's like, oh my god, we're back to where we are.
Yeah, and guys, look, I know it's a series about talking blue hedgehog. I know it's goofy. It will always be goofy, but like just because it's goofy, like surface level, doesn't mean it can't tell serious, engaging stories. They've been doing that since Adventure One, and they did it all the way till like 2010. All right, so just stop that. Okay, just stop. I don't care if it's about a freaking talking blue hedgehog. You can break the sound barrier. It's awesome. So look, I can complain about the quality of the stories. All right, it's not invalid. Okay, but yeah, now that we have all that news out of the way, the whole no boost situation, Ian clarifying some things revolving around the timeline. Now we can get into the main subject of this episode, which is actually something I'm pretty excited to discuss because there's a lot of possibilities. We're just coming off of the high of what's been a great year, and the main subject is what can we look forward to in 2023? Like, what will this be? The next year of Sonic, like not to the same scale that 2022 was. I don't think anything will match that for quite some time. But will it be an exciting year for us fans, and will it be packed with content, or will it be kind of like a very slow, painful year that we just want to go by so we can go ahead and go to 2024 and see movie 3 already? All right. So, what's the fate of 2023 going to be? That's the main subject. So the first thing I'm going to ask you, Gamebox, is how do you feel overall about the previous year we just had, the 2022, the year of Sonic? Like, what were your favorite moments from that year? Like, what did you love so much about it? Just go ahead and talk for a little bit.
Well, my favorite part would definitely have to be the I know this. I'm gonna quickly jump back to 2021 because I think that's where the excitement truly kicked in for me.
Yeah.
Because I mean, of course, during I think it was just about when the pandemic was about to, or I think we were halfway through 2020. I couldn't remember when it was announced that Sonic the Hedgehog would be getting a sequel for the movies. I still remember being like, "Oh my god, this is actually happening! They're gonna get a sequel. Looking forward to it." And then months pass. The teaser logo shows up, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm so excited!" And then it's like the night before the trailer actually came out, I was just like, "Oh my god, I'm so nervous." I'm watching the game show, and I'm like, "I don't care about these games. I want to see my Sonic." um, I was like, you know what? I've got college the next mornings. I've got college the next day, so I'll just go to sleep. And then as I wake up, I just bolt to my phone, and I'm like, all right, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? So, I watched the trailer. I'm like, okay, pretty okay. I like this. Sonic looks different. Tails looks pretty cool. And then Knuckles shows up, and I'm like, oh my god, yes, get in, lads.
Yeah.
Even though even though we were kind of spoilt of teaser poster and behind the scenes pictures of the second movie. But that didn't really matter to me. It was just like, is the film gonna be good? Is the film gonna be big, jam-packed type thing? And yeah, I went to see it. I was kind of nervous at first. I think it was the opening was fine. The opening was really, really good. But the first time I saw the I think it was an IP being used when we first see Sonic, I'm like, oh no, don't tell me this is. But this was like a little fear I have when it comes to films, is like when you use copyrighted music, it kind of gives me the fear. Placement. Yeah, it gives me the fear where it's like, oh no, like it's not like a big massive thing, but I just keep getting nervous feelings. But when the first copyrighted music played, I'm like, oh okay, I was like, oh okay, hopefully this will work. And then second time I watch it, I'm like, okay, I'm fine with that now. But I should say, first time I watched it, really loved it. Second time, I love it. I love it more the more I watch it. It's just amazing.
Oh yeah, no, movie 2 was, oh, it's such a great way to kick off the year. I had high expectations going in because I loved the first movie so much, and it still blew them out of the water. Like the second movie, I don't think words exist. It's just like how perfect that film is, which is really interesting situation, because there are a lot of people who prefer the first movie and were kind of let down just a little bit by movie 2. And then there's people who think movie 2 blew movie 1 out, like just out the water, like it's not even a contest. I'm pretty sure my perspective is actually surprisingly very, because I think the movies are equally good. Like, sure, it's not like movie 1 doesn't have the same scale and the same, like, craziness as movie 2 does, but for what that film is, which is, supposed to be an introduction setting up the dynamic between Sonic and Robotnik and introducing these human characters and stuff, it's still really enjoyable. Like I just rewatched it like not too long ago. It was still like I had a great time with it. And movie 2, even though it's not as paced, even though it's not paced as well as movie 1, even though there's less emphasis placed on, like, some good characters like Tom and Maddie. I know humans in my Sonic media, bro. You can have good human characters in the Sonic stories, okay? And like Tom and Maddie are just great. I love them. Freaking S tier. And yeah, movie 2 does have some problems, but I didn't care because it's a stupid movie and it's amazing. Okay, and like I don't even think I need to explain movie 2. It's just a movie made for fans. There's so much from the games carried over. It's nonstop a wild ride. It's great. I love it, and I was so impressed with how it blended so well into like the movie lore that the first film set up. Like, oh yeah, just. Oh, and dude, if we're on like a roller coaster, we haven't even reached the peak of the series yet. Movie 3 is gonna be better than movie 2. I don't think my body is ready. Like, I think I will be incinerated, like in the theaters, just witnessing that, bro. Like I'm gonna be seeing that on the same day as Avatar 3. Like, I will not be able to handle it. That will be the day I die. December 10th is literally gonna be my final day on planet Earth, man. I'm gonna get vaporized in my seat. But yeah. Yeah, I love both movies, and I do agree movie 2 was amazing.
Yeah. I think another part of the excitement for Sonic actually came around when the first Sonic Frontiers trailer came. Well, the first two.
Yes.
it was like, okay, this is getting pretty good. And then more teasers pop up. It's like, oh my god, I wish we can get more because I heard this was open world. I'm like, okay, this has got to be good. And then we see the first gameplay of it, and then that's when the excitement kind of fell downhill for
Yeah,
me. Because I
yeah,
mean,
the IGN showcase.
yeah, I mean, everyone did say it looked horrible. To me, it was like, oh, like I didn't. To me, it wasn't horrible. It was just not what I was expecting in a way. Because I did notice the pop-ins, and I still noticed that it was just kind of a bit. Well, it looked kind of janky the first time, and then
Hmm.
I was like, okay, maybe this will just be like a random game that'll probably just be on the slide, and I'll play it anyway and see what happens. But as we get more information and more trailers start popping up, it's like, okay, there's something here. My excitement's starting to get back. And then the early music gets released, and I'm like, okay, I'm sold. I'm looking forward to this game. And then game releases, and it's like, oh my god. Oh my god. I think this is a really good game. I should stress, not better than Unleashed in my opinion. Definitely not better than Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but it's a good game.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Dude, yes, yes, yeah. Okay, so one thing really interesting is something that you touched on. When that IGN showcase revealed, everyone's excitement for the game like just died down. Like everyone was just not excited. I feel like the odd one out, man. Because when I watched like those trailers, I didn't think it looked. I didn't see what anyone was talking about. Because a lot of the complaints people had was, oh, look at how slow Sonic's going. Oh, look, the person like he's not doing anything. He's just walking around. And oh my god, this climbing sequence was so slow, and the game looks uninteresting. It's like. Do you realize that the main point of the footage we're seeing is to like show off the rail. Like the person is intentionally walking slow and doing nothing to just like show us our first glimpse at the game. Like that's not how the game's going to play. You're not going to be walking around slowly into an empty field just turning your camera in like the cinematic way. No, like I didn't get all the other hate. I thought it looked just fine. I wasn't super excited for the game because we're coming off of the Burn of Forces. Like Sonic Team hasn't delivered like a solid experience since Generation. So I was very skeptical. It wasn't enough to like win me over, but I do agree, Gamebox. As we got more information, I started getting unbelievably excited, and then I got the game in my hands on launch day, and I was blown away. I was blown away that I platinumed it in 3 days because I could not put it down. And yeah, that's the peak of 2022 for me. That's the peak of Sonic's year for me. That playing that game because not only did it teach me that Sonic Team was back and we can have amazing Sonic games again. But it quickly became my favorite Sonic game and one of my favorite games ever because it is just even with its issues, it's just so unbelievably fun and so packed with content and great story moments. Oh my god, I love the fucking game. I love the fucking game. Yeah.
Damn, calm down. I'm joking. I'm joking.
I got Joe. No, you're right. You're right. So yeah, but we did skip over something interesting. And I
Ooh,
understand because I don't think you played it. There was Sonic Origins, which is kind of like seen as the black sheep of 2022.
I have not played it, but I have. I mean, I've been debating on getting it, but it was surprisingly. It wasn't really like people saying, "Oh, it's got the glitches and all of that." It's like, nah, it's just not really been up my alley. And plus, I know Big Sonic 3 Mark here, but uh, I'm not really used to the newer soundtracks. Like I get Michael Jackson did the music, and I think Sony owns the picture. Sony owns Michael Jackson's music, so it's gonna be hard. But yeah, I have listened to them, and it's like, yeah, you did your best. That's the best anyone can ever do.
Yeah, yeah. Imagine being the poor guy who got brought in to freaking do music to replace Michael Jackson's work. Like that, that's not an easy task. But yeah. Are you guys ready for a slice bad take of the day? Here you go.
Let's hear it.
Yeah. Sonic Origins was just fine. It was just fine. The entire community like paints it as this like embarrassing failure that like was just disrespectful to Sonic's 30th anniversary and all the classic games included. I literally just think it's fine, and here's why: because I'm the target audience that game was meant for. Okay, every gamer now, every YouTuber assumes that everyone has like a PC, everyone has like a like mods downloaded, everyone like has all these like fan projects and like they all like all these like collections of classics. No, like the casual gamers will literally just play whatever is available on the console. The whole point of Sonic Origins wasn't to give everyone like the definitive way to play the classics. If it was trying to do it, then I agree it failed. It was just trying to have a way for like newer like kids who are now getting into the series or newer fans to have a really accessible and easy way to just play the classic games. That was the whole point of Origins. I agree. It was overpriced. I think the price was ridiculous. It's not a perfect game, but it's just fine. And because of that game, I was finally able to play Sonic 1, 2, CD, and 3 and Knuckles for the first time. Well, I had played Sonic 1 and 2 already, but like CD and 3 and Knuckles, those were like new experiences for me, and it was just awesome. It's cool. And there's some really cool features in Origins. Like it's a good experience. It's just the circumstances around that experience that a lot of people don't like. Because yes, there are better versions of the games. Yes, there are some missing features. Yes, it is overpriced. But that doesn't make it a bad collection. It just makes it like underwhelming. It makes it disappointing. It doesn't make it bad. And also like the freaking quote unquote bugs. Look, guys, I get the game was buggy when it first dropped, but it wasn't like from what I saw, it literally wasn't that bad. Like I've been playing the game after the patch. I haven't ran into any issues. I see some bugs people talk about. Most of them were bugs that were already existent in the like original games. Like, come on, guys. No, I don't think the game was like that buggy. Like Colors Ultimate, I won't defend because yeah, on Switch that port was a fucking train wreck. But Origins, no, it just wasn't as bad as people were saying. So yeah, I think Origins was just fine. What do you think of Origins from like what you've seen from like an outsider looking in? Like, I know you haven't played the game, but like, what do you think of like the situation around it?
Honestly, I really do not know. I think from what I've seen, it's been pretty alright. It's just like, something right there that people will pretty much buy in their free time. Kids will probably want it and just play it until they turn, I don't know, fucking 16. But yeah, it was just an alright thing. And back when you said when people think everyone's got like a gamer PCs and all of that, I've got a Mac and I don't play a lot of games. Only in my spare time. But I don't have a lot of spare time because it's
Yeah,
filled with
like
editing and shit.
yeah, dedicated Sonic fans and like just like like more hardcore gamers will like of course still have like all these mods and like all these fan projects and like all these like definitive ways to play the game. Of course they're gonna have that. Like dude, like of course, but like that's not who Origins was targeting. It was literally meant to coincide with movie two and be a way for people who like got into the movies to be able to like experience the original games. And aside from the absurd price, which did lower like really fast, yeah, no, I think it's just fine. I thought it was just okay. It was a nice port. It was just a nice little recollection that benefited me greatly because without them, I would not be able to play the classics because that's who it was intended for. Yeah, but that does it for Origins. It's just okay. I think the fan base really did overreact on that one.
Yeah.
And then the last thing is Prime. So I actually don't think I've ever talked to you about Prime. Have you seen the 8 episodes that released?
Just one, I'm afraid. I've got a lot of If
Okay,
you've seen my letterbox, I've got a lot of stuff to cover, but I will jump back to Sonic Prime eventually. But again, it just depends on
gotcha.
timing and stuff.
Okay, gotcha. So we're not gonna go into detail about Prime, guys, or like like I'm sure you know all that there is to know. Episode 8 does leave on a cliffhanger because it was all meant to be one complete show, but Netflix will just like only release certain batches at a time. So episode 8, like season 1, which is what it is officially labeled, just ends out of nowhere. And yeah, now we're getting more episodes. I'm excited to see season 2. But yeah, so from that first episode of Prime that you did watch, what were your thoughts?
Honestly, I really liked it. I liked the characterization. The voice acting was pretty good. Um, I don't really have a big complaint with. I don't really have a massive complaint with it. In all honesty, I feel like what I've seen was pretty good. I liked the characterization of Sonic. I liked the characterization of Tails, or in the other universe, Nine. Is it? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Did you check? Yeah, I liked that. I liked the dynamics. I liked the flashback scenes. They were really, really cool. That was my favorite part of the show.
Oh yeah, when they were in Green Hill.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
yeah, the one where they're in Green Hill and the flashback scene with Tails. I thought that was really, really good.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. Prime is literally peak fiction, guys. Prime is really good, and it got right. My one complaint was, it's like accumulation of a bunch of tiny like nitpicks. Is the show at times doesn't feel confident being a Sonic show because it relies on a lot of tropes that and like it doesn't really carry over a lot from the games because like okay, when you imagine Sonic in like a multiverse story, like you're thinking of all these like wildly different scenarios, kind of like Marvel's like What If series, like oh, what if like Knuckles was never the guardian of the Master Emerald, and instead he was like he cited like he was there with his ancestors when they all got attacked by perfect chaos, or what if this happened, or what if Maria never died and Shadow like actually did cure her disease and like became a weapon of gun, a wielding weapon of gun who was willing to do whatever they want, and like that created a power struggle. Like you think of all these cool scenarios in your head, and then you get to Prime, and it's like okay, so here's a world where Eggman's taking over. That's kind of neat. And then here's the second mode that's just has nothing to do with anything from Sonic's lore. And then here's the third mode, which is just pirates. Like it's just like it's just a bunch of generic tropes, and it's like, I wish there was more creativity here, and I wish it utilized more of the game's universe. That's my only complaint with the show so far. But like overall, it's pretty good. It's enjoyable. Like Gamebox said, I like the characterizations. I know I look. I don't want you guys to think of what I said earlier. I don't like Prime Sonic. I stressed it like there, and I'm gonna stress it now. I do like Prime Sonic. I think it's a good character. I just don't think I think he's wildly different from Game Sonic, and making them like one and the same will just like be inconsistent. He works well as like his this show works well as its own thing, as its own like standalone thing. Um, yeah, but Prime was good, and it almost just said this like a nice little epilogue to the year of Sonic because movie two was a banger introduction. Origins was kind of keeping the momentum for better or worse, and then it did it enough for Frontiers to literally just come out of nowhere and, in my opinion, be the peak of the year. And then like Prime is like the nice little epilogue, like a little bonus, like, hey, we just had an awesome year. Like now here's like the first season of like this cool show. Just to end it off. Oh, and during that year we also had a lot of IDW issues which like were released to like high praise from the community. I'm not caught up with IDW yet, so I don't know anything about that, but it was also a great year for comics too. It was just an overall amazing year, man. It's so good being a Sonic fan. And that would brings us to 2023. But we're going to be discussing like what could we be getting this year? Who knows? Um, yeah. So is there anything else you want to say about the year of Sonic before we start talking about what we can expect from this year?
Not really. All I can say is that this year was a great year for Sonic, and I really hope that there's more to come in the future. That's all I can say.
All right, bet. So yeah, we went through that so like you guys can know like how we reacted and how like we felt with like the previous series just got, and that can kind of lead to like our expectations of like what could we possibly be getting this year, and even though it won't be as good, will it be like kind of like still just as hype if you get what I mean. So yeah, the first thing that I'm going to ask about, we're going to discuss, we're going to trade our thoughts on, is the Frontiers DLC. So I saw the review that you posted on your Instagram, Gamebox. I'm this is an obvious question, but I'm just asking just to be sure, just in case. You have finished Frontiers, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. I was just checking. So Yeah, now we're gonna be talking about the new Frontiers DLC and updates that are gonna be coming out. What are your thoughts just hearing that? Like when you saw the announcement, just what possibilities do you think are gonna happen or gonna come out of this? What do you think? What are your thoughts? Give us the scoop.
Well, in all honesty, I like some of the ideas that they've got for the Sonic Frontiers DLC. My favorite one's gonna the one I'm really looking forward to is the more playable characters one, where it's like, okay, I'm excited for that, but my question is, are they gonna do it in a different way? What I mean by that is, if they're going to make Tails, Knuckles, and Amy playable, is it going to be the same mechanics? Is it going to be like the boost formula? Is it going to be different gameplay variations? Or is it just going to be... I don't know. But as for the first update, the first update seems fine. The photo mode, that's pretty interesting. The jukebox jukebox is a pretty interesting one. And
Yeah,
new challenges. That's gonna be fun.
that will be. I can't wait to go back into Frontiers and have new stuff to do.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, the jukebox makes you think that like you'll be able to select in-game tracks to play whenever you want. That's the only thing I can guess because what else can it be? I don't know. It's very vague. A lot of these are very vague. But yeah, that would be cool. Photo mode's gonna be sick because there's a lot of great sites in that game, and it's just gonna be really cool to like get some cool photos. And challenge is obvious that it's gonna add so much replayability to the game, and I cannot wait.
Yeah. I will say for photo mode, do like what Insomniac Spider-Man did, but do it more Sonic-y in a way. If you know what I mean. Like, don't make it what Spider-Man did, but like do something else with it. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, like it's cool to take inspiration, but don't do it like frame by frame.
Yeah, like have filters. That'll be fun. Like one day I was on Spider-Man PS4. I was just using the camera mode because I thought it was like really fun. Just going through different filters, and it's like I just love this. This is sick.
Yeah. But yeah, that's basically all we're getting for update one. For update two, I just pulled it up right here. We get Sonic's birthday, which I think is gonna be like maybe like a like I can't a timed event. There we go. A timed event that's gonna be on the 23rd for his 32nd anniversary, and it's just gonna be like a cool maybe like there's gonna be confetti everywhere. Like I don't think it's gonna be anything big. I just think it's gonna be like oh there's like a slight change here because like you're playing on the 23rd and it's his birthday. It's so cool. Um, and then we got open zone challenges, which has me probably more excited than the new challenge modes because I love traversing the hub nodes. I think that's something that they did really well. The open zone gameplay is so fun. So having more stuff to do in those hub nodes, because like the only stuff to do like when you're like running around is like like occasional side puzzles and like trying to get like lost memories, which is fun. Like the gameplay loop is really fun, but you don't really like. It's not really as engaging as it could be, but like having like open zone challenges just sounds awesome. And of course, this new Coco, who knows what the fuck that does? Okay, this the Coco are just now. Okay, I actually did see one cool theory because you do collect Coco, so you can collect like so you can have what was it speed? Yeah, you can have speed increases and you can
Yeah.
have rank increases. So what if there's a new type of Coco you can collect, and they'll like add some sort of upgrade to Sonic? Like there'll be like more to them, or maybe it'll be for like one of the playable characters. Like there'll be skill trees for like Amy, Knuckles, and Tails. Who knows?
Hopefully, I'd like to see that.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on update two? Like just those two things.
Update 2. Ooh, I really do not know what to think about it. A new
It's
Coco.
very vague 'cause we have Sonic's birthday and new Coco. We have no clue what those are.
Yeah, I'd say for new Coco, for me, it'd be like, okay, that's pretty much gonna be there. Sonic's birthday, hopefully we'll get more information in the future. And open zone challenge, that'll be pretty interesting. I'm looking forward to see what that's got.
Yeah, and then update 3, we got playable characters, a new story, which is obviously like the big guns, which is like the one that everyone's excited for. I'm really excited for it because the playable characters in new story is like, dude, sorry, I'm having a freaking heart attack. Oh, we're back in the adventure days, guys. We're back, okay? We're gonna have a new ending because I'm pretty sure they did confirm like there's gonna be like it's gonna be taking place after the story, so it's gonna be like or maybe not, who knows. But yeah, it's gonna change the ending slightly from what we saw in the first game. I don't think it's gonna retcon anything. I just think it's gonna like be something new and unexpected. And I don't know how they're gonna incorporate the characters into it. I don't know if you'll be able to glide as Knuckles or like use Amy's mallet to like propel into the air or like be able to fly as Tails. I don't know what they're gonna be doing with the characters. I hope so because imagine how fun it'd be like flying around like the open zones. Oh, dude, I can. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Sorry, we're winning. We just keep winning. And what's really interesting is Sage is like at the. I can't show you guys the picture because this is a podcast, obviously. But like Sage is in the same like it's basically alongside Tails, Knuckles, and Amy when it says like new playable characters, new story. I don't know if she's gonna be a playable character, obviously, but
Oh no.
I think this is supposed to indicate that she's gonna play a role in whatever new story is involved. If you remember at the end of Frontiers, there's that post credit scene where Eggman brings her back. So maybe we're gonna be seeing something happen with that. I don't know. I'm just really excited for the possibilities. Endless possibilities. I'm ready. My body is ready. My soul is ready. Take it now. I will give you my soul for this update. It is free. I don't have to because it's literally free. It's free updates, man. Oh yes. What are your thoughts on playable characters' new story? What do you hope comes out of it?
I'd like to see different gameplay mechanics. Like I said before, I'd like to see for Tails, I'd like to see a flying mechanic. Um and maybe like some Tails attacks as well, because I feel like that could be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Knuckles, there can be uh a punching, gliding, climbing, going undergrounds, maybe like in the adventure games. I feel like that could be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool if like they put like some sort of like treasure hunting mini game in there, and like it's just a straight callback to like Adventure 1 and 2's. There's some people are like people are split on those treasure stages. I think they're great. I think they're fun, and people are babies.
And
People
as for
don't agree with my opinions of the babies. Sorry, go on.
no worries, that's fine. As for Amy, I really don't know what to do for Amy. I think the only thing I can come up with is maybe have some like instead of like having the same thing as Sonic, just maybe do something with her hammer. Like maybe instead of like just having her smash stuff all the time, maybe she can like use her hammer like when she smashes her hammer on the ground. Maybe there could be something where she can like the impact of her hammer hits the ground so hard I should say. Hopefully that didn't come out wrong.
It's like like she like flies like through the air.
Yeah. I feel
Yeah,
like
like kinda like what we saw in the advanced games and also in Adventure. I think that's definitely like that has to be in there. I don't think they're gonna bring back her invisibility from '06. Okay, I think they're gonna be bringing that back. But yeah, Amy is a very interesting one because like she hasn't really had a set play style because in Adventure 1, like her whole thing was like puzzle platforming, and in the advanced games, like like she was a much more like tactical character, if that makes sense, where like you can't just like run through the levels and like have your traditional song stages. You gotta take slower routes and optimize your time more strategically and stuff. Like she's always been a weird character to not only play as but also like get right from a design standpoint. So I'm really interested to see what they do with her because in universe she's not really like strong or powerful as like the other guys. So I'd be interested to see what they do.
yep.
Yeah, I think that wraps it up for the Frontiers DLC. I'm really excited for all of this. Hopefully they add in a boss rush because those bosses are literally peak fiction, so that'd be sick. But how can we get off this topic without mentioning? Yeah, I almost forgot to say this. Yeah, Mori Kishimoto, being the madman he is, has also confirmed that he's going to be sneaking in gameplay updates like throughout the DLC season. So people have been asking, hey, like, can we have more momentum in Frontiers? Which I think is weird because it's like they already balanced the game with like how Sonic currently plays, so I don't think they're gonna like change everything just because. But no, Mori Kishimoto said like they're gonna be experimenting with some things to like get some player feedback before they make the next Million game, and part of it is gonna be like new momentum physics. So we're gonna be seeing changes to like Sonic's base gameplay throughout the season, hidden somewhere because he didn't say he's going to announce it. He's going to put it in randomly. So that's really interesting.
Agreed. Very interesting.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to add like a spin dash or anything because that would just be too crazy. But like, yeah, and then there's also the entire Supreme. Okay, so Gamebox, did you find the Supreme boss fight disappointing?
Kinda. Yeah. In all honesty, I don't really want to dive into like big criticisms or anything like that. Personally, I feel like Supreme, there could have been something else to Supreme that would have been the final boss, but like the final boss we got in the game was just all right for me. So yeah, I would say Supreme was more of a supporting boss in my opinion.
Yeah, he could have been way better. And you know, a lot of cool stuff just came out. So they've been digging around in the files. They just found a bunch of unused like QTEs from that fight, and like some of them, I'm just like, okay, it's clear the clunky, it's clear they're unfinished. But I would have loved to see it. Okay, so like one of the QTE animations just has Supreme just like dancing around the field with his gun, just trying to shoot Sonic multiple times. And there's a shot in there where like he just freaking like jumps in the air to shoot Sonic. He's just like freaking dodging. It's like the most anime over the top crap. It's like, bro, I wish that could have been the fight. That would have made it so much better. But yeah, I have a whole video coming out where like I go more in depth of like, you know, I don't think Frontier's ending was as bad as people say, because people said the game goes downhill around Ray Island because they started reusing assets, and like stuff starts getting like less original. I understand that. In a Supreme fight, yeah, no, it wasn't as cool as the other three boss fights, but I like it more as a emotional fight than I would like, because I think the other fights are more like power fantasies, where it's like, okay, this is like all like destruction and action and spectacle, and we're gonna destroy these titans. But then when you get to the final one, it's like we're dealing with a much larger threat. This isn't like an empty vessel anymore. This is, you know, the end. Like this titan being is being controlled by a celestial monster that wants to like devour and destroy the planet. I don't know if he wants to devour the planet. I'm starting to think of Galactus a little bit, but you know what I mean, okay? He wants to kill everyone. So the fight has much more high stakes in it, and like, you know, Sonic's friends are depending on them to free them from cyberspace. So I like it more as like a very emotional, like mature fight. So I think the less emphasis on spectacle and like the, you know, I'm here playing, it makes it okay. But yeah, I think we can all agree that the fight was a little underbaked. And Moyo Kishimoto has, this is old news at this point because it had like, this was like 3 weeks ago, a month ago. But Moyo Kishimoto has said that he will be changing that he'll be like updating the final boss at some point. So we could be looking at a entirely different situation where like, yeah, no, like they maybe finish the QTEs and put them back in the fight, or they add some additional moves. Who knows? But yeah, no, they will be updating that fight. So I think that's really interesting. Would you want to see them updated, or do you think it's like unnecessary and they should just focus on like other stuff?
Uh, Again, I'd say I'm somewhere in the middle. I'd say it'd be cool to get some updates on the final boss, but I would like to see more things being worked on for Sonic Frontiers. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I'm fine with them working on the final boss if they have time, because like as it stands, I don't mind the final boss, and a lot of people like to rag on the end. I think that could like that whole like everyone's just reaction to that boss was a little extra, because look, I understand it's a random hacky mini game at the as like the true final boss, but hear me out. That fight is a hidden extra. It's a unlockable. It's not like the actual fight. If you're playing on easy or normal, you never encounter that. That's just a nice little extra thing for people who played on hard to like have like an actual confrontation with like the end figure. I like. I think for what it was, it's completely fine. And look, I think if Supreme had been an awesome boss fight, then people would not have been mad about that. But because Supreme was so disappointing, and then it's immediately followed up and playing on hard by like a little like what's the word? Bullet hell? Yeah, like a little bullet hell fight out of nowhere. I understand the disappointment there, but I think it's a little overblown. I think the end fight is fine for what it is. But yeah, I'd like to see it updated. I'd like to see Supreme, be cooler. There's a lot of suggestions I could throw around, but I'm not going to be here all day. I think they should work on it if they have time. Not do anything major. Just increase his health because he goes down way too easily. Give him like 1 or 2 more attacks. Put those awesome QTEs back in the game where he's freaking like flying his goofy freaking big gun cannon thing. All right, so just make it cooler. And also like bring back his invent jelly on the wings. Like have those be out there when he's just flying around. I think that'd be cool. But
Yeah, I'd be looking forward to that one.
yeah, I'm happy that they're updating it, but yeah, I think it's cool. So I think that wraps it up for Frontiers. We're getting a lot of cool stuff. The game is not dead at all. Like it's about to look entirely different. And I'm just so happy that we live in a world where this is a thing, where the game was so well received and sold so well. They're going to be adding even more content to it, so we have like more additional things to look forward to in a Sonic game in like the second year's been out. That's Oh my god, yeah.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. It's basically like Sonic 3 and Knuckles. It's like we got the Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and now we're getting the 3 and Knuckles expansion. And I can't wait. But now that we're done with discussing Frontiers, let's go on to Sonic Prime. So we're gonna have to dance around a lot for this one because you haven't seen the show, so we can't really speculate about like what direction the episodes are gonna go in. But we did get screenshots, and we do know that that there is a second season coming out. So this is gonna be a really short topic because we're not gonna like stay on this one for long. Because like there's not gonna be any speculation. But I'm excited for it. I'm really excited. If you guys probably know why I have a video about it, which is where I kind of like flesh out my thoughts about it. There's some cool potential for season 2 with a certain character, and it just looks cool. It looks peak. And yeah, you got your bones. Gamebox, you gotta catch up before season 2 comes out. Okay, I'm giving you the pass. I'm just being like, okay, man, I understand. Yeah, you're busy. It's a 8 episode show. Yeah, you don't have the time to watch it. I understand. But make sure you're caught up before season 2 drops because season 2 is gonna be great. I can just tell it's gonna be awesome.
Well, all I can say to that is I'll see what I can do.
See what I can do, guys. Let's just like strap Gamebox to a chair and just force him to watch the show. I think that'll work.
I mean, it would work if it were a bad show, but the problem is it's a good show. I'd happily just sit down and watch it. So you can't force me.
Yeah, what do you think of Netflix's decision to split them into 3 seasons instead of releasing all of it at once? On one hand, like the fact that okay, well, like we have time to speculate about the show and get excited for like additional episodes, and like it helps make the show seem more alive in a sense because instead of finishing it all in one day, we have the chance to get it in like increments and have the chance to speculate and talk about it, and it keeps the show alive and popular. But on the other hand, I'm frustrated because there are currently 16 episodes of Sonic Prime that Netflix doesn't want to put out there, and I can't watch it because I love binging things. I would have happily just binged all 24 episodes on the first night it dropped. But what do you think of that model? Do you think it's unfair that they're like bread feeding us, or do you think it's cool because it gives us time to talk about the show in between episode like release dates?
Personally, I'd say it just depends on if it'll work story-wise, because it's kind of hard to judge when a lot of things are still needing to be released. Like with season 2 coming up, I really do not know what to think about if it's a good idea, if it's a bad idea. I'd say for another season, like season 2, I'd say okay then. But I would just wait to see if they end on a cliffhanger for season 2, which I really hope they don't, because cliffhangers can get really annoying, and
Oh, I
also
almost
cliffhangers.
never did cliffhanger.
Oh yeah, cliffhangers are also a thing where it's like you end a show on a cliffhanger, and then shows will just cancel straight away, which just gets so annoying. But we'll have to wait and see.
Oh, yes, I hate it. Almost like I'm a Resident Evil. Like I was like, wow, that's actually a really good show. I wonder what direction they're going to take the second season. Oh, no more show. Oh yeah, but yeah, no. The reason I say that season 2 is definitely going to end on a cliffhanger is because it's not supposed to be season 2. It's supposed to be the middle section of one singular show. So yeah, it's going to be just as abrupt. It's going to be just as crazy as the last season's cliffhanger. So I'm ready for it though. I just want to see more Sonic Prime. I want to see. I hope there's more because I think at this point that there are oh my god, I can't speak. There have only been 3 dimensions that's been shown, like 3 Shadowverse dimensions. So I'm interested to see if they show more because I think that'd be cool. Like, look, you have an entire show based around Sonic in the freaking multiverse. Like, come on, give us more, give us more originality, give us more worlds. Um, so I'm pretty sure that's pretty much all we can really say about Sonic Prime. Just yeah, no, season 2 is coming out. It's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna watch it, and it's gonna be cool.
Nice.
So with that said, let's go into another TV show, the Knuckles TV series. We have not heard anything about it since it got announced alongside Sonic Movie 3. And this has led to a lot of people worrying that it's going to get delayed to 2024. I personally don't think so. I just think it's going to release near the end of 2023, and they're going to be more vocal about it, like leading up to the show's release. Because this isn't like a movie where it's like, okay, they have 2 hours to do all these effects stuff. No, this will be a show. I don't know how many episodes, but it's going to take probably more VFX work, more filming, more time to make.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think it's gonna be great. There was a quote unquote leaked movie 3 plot summary that confirms that the film takes place immediately after movie 2, and I don't necessarily buy it because that plot summary said a lot of things. It said Amy and Big are gonna be, like the characters in the movie. Metal Sonic is gonna be like the villain alongside Shadow, who's gonna partner up with Eggman to take down Sonic. And it sounds all very weird because for one, why would you have Metal Sonic and Shadow be the villains together? Because it feels really tacked on because you already Metal Sonic is already the duplicate Sonic who matches him in speed and power level, and then Shadow is the duplicate Sonic who matches him in speed and power level. I know he's not a duplicate Sonic, but I'm saying what he's supposed to represent, what he's supposed to symbolize. So putting those two in the same movie, as a partners, that just seems odd. And Amy Rose and Big, I understand Amy because it's okay, I she's a part of the original crew along with Knuckles, Tails, and Sonic. Why Big? Big kind of just seems random. And then also how did Eggman survive the explosion? They have to explain that. Yeah, it's just the plot summary that we got feels really weird. So I don't know how much I buy that. I say all that to say I think the Knuckles TV series is going to be the intermediate period between movie 2 and 3, and it's going to lead into the third film. Kind of like the Guardians Holiday Special, if anyone watched that. It takes place after the second one, and it's meant to lead into the third one a little bit. And I think that's what the Knuckles TV series will be. But if that plot summary turns out to be true, it does take place after movie 2, and we're going to get Metal Sonic, Amy Rose, and the MVP Big the Cat all in the same movie, then it'd be interesting to see it serve as more of an
You'd
epilogue,
want
but
a
that
Big the Cat movie, let's be honest with ourselves.
huh?
You're just wanting a Big the Cat movie, let's be honest with ourselves.
Yo, Big the Cat, dude. Yeah, I mean, honestly, he's a peak character, dude. He's literally an S tier character. I love how everyone's opinion of Big the Cat has changed drastically. When he was in Adventure, everyone hated him. Everyone used to always hate Big the Cat. I remember when he was the joke of the fandom, and now everyone unironically loves Big. Okay, respect has been put in that boy's name because of him. Earning lost memories, lost keys, and freaking all of that junk is so much more convenient in Frontiers. Big's the freaking MVP, gives you his fishing token so he can go out there and fish. He's the best. Big is literally the best. He's the MVP. But Yeah. So this Knuckles series will either be a prequel to the main series, which I do find interesting because okay, so we know that Knuckles' ancestors, like his entire clan, got wiped out during the War of the Lone Claws, leaving him as like the sole survivor. But there are also other echidnas because we see them in the portal, kind of. I'm trying to remember the exact creature like species we see in the portal to like fight Robotnik. I don't know. I can't remember if they were echidnas or not. I don't think so. Yeah, I think he is still the last remaining echidna. I don't know what those things are. I think they're like space monsters. I don't fucking know. The point I'm trying to say is we don't know where Knuckles came from because the last we know, okay, he stayed home when his whole family went out to go fight the Lone Claws. They all died, and then now he's just entering through a portal, like on the hunt for Sonic the Hedgehog. Meaning this guy has probably been on many adventures, so searching for like Sonic's power, the thing that his echidna tribe really wanted. So I don't know. I really don't know, guys, because it's confusing to think about, like, because when they announced that it was gonna be a Knuckles series, I'm like, I hadn't seen movie two yet, but after I saw movie two, I'm just wondering what the fuck is it gonna be about? What story is there to tell? Is it gonna be a prequel? Is it gonna be in between? And then here's the thing I don't get, right? I mean, in movie two, we see him leave with Tom, Maddie, Sonic, and Tails as like a friend, like he's a part of the gang now. But it doesn't specify if he's gonna be staying with them. I don't think so. So he's gonna be off on his own adventure. But what's gonna happen? Is he gonna use one of Sonic's rings to like go someplace in the galaxy? I don't know. I
I
genuinely
guess,
don't know. Huh?
I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
I guess so, but it makes speculating hard. It makes my job hard as a podcaster. But I now one thing I would love to see is the chaotix. I think this would be the perfect time to like maybe bring the chaotix into the movie universe. Because there was a brief mention of them in the comics, like a brief little like cameo, like a hidden little detail hinting at their existence. And you can't just do that and take it nowhere. So if there is a Knuckles show, they gotta put the chaotix in there. They gotta do something. Who would the main villain even be? That's another question too, because Jim Carrey's not gonna sign on for a Knuckles TV series. He has a little bit more stardom power than that. Agent Stone? Like who would do with the main villain be? I can't think of any game villains who would make as like a perfect foil.
There's the Lizard, the cancelled villain from the original Sonic movie. That could be something.
That is true. They could reuse like old concepts. That I think that'd be neat. There's also that robot at the end of Knuckles Chaotix. I never played the game. I know nothing about it, but like I do know there was like this little robot mech that they fought. That could also be a thing. I don't know. Just make a Knuckles and Chaotix TV series. Okay, just do it, you cowards. What are your thoughts on just the premise alone of like a Knuckles getting its own standalone series?
Sorry, what was the question again? Sorry, Mike, something cut out for my end, even though it didn't sound like it. But...
What are your thoughts, like, on the premise alone of Knuckles getting his own TV series?
Well, I actually like it. I think it's really cool. Plus it's I think Knuckles does work in his own. Knuckles can work by himself, and just with the Knuckles spin-off series, I think it'll turn out really well. I've got a lot of hopes for it. I'm up for whatever story that they've got, whether it be prequel, human stuff, or just maybe Sonic Adventure 2 like plot, but it just depends really on what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, hey man, if it's just a whole freaking series of like Knuckles and Wade, just a buddy cop movie, I'll take it. I'll take it, bro. Thinking Wade's the goat. Yeah, there's a like the reason I was just stuttering in my brain was just like malfunctioning. Just think about it, guys, is because this show could really be anything. It's really odd that they decided to give Knuckles TV series because it makes me wonder what story is that they really want to tell. Because like this is like maybe the whole point of the series even existing is just to hold us over until movie three. But they chose Knuckles. Like they specifically chose Knuckles to make a series about. So what is it going to be about? It has to be a prequel of like his adventures, like searching for Sonic. I don't know. I do not know. We'll just have to wait and see. I'm excited for it though, and I hope it does come out this year.
Again, just have to wait and see.
Yeah, yeah. Just gotta wait. Just gotta wait. And trust me, I'm power for a while. I can't wait for much longer. I gotta wait like a year and 11 months for Sonic Movie 3. So the last thing that we're going to be talking about, the last component, I guess, of 2023 is not even confirmed, but it's something that the community has been really interested in, which is a leak from a somewhat trustworthy source. They've gotten things right in the past, but they've also gotten things wrong in the past. So we don't know how accurate this is, but like everyone's talking about it, and it's a rumor of a new 2D Sonic game that's going to release this year. And I believe this leak, not because I'm gullible, even though I am, but because Takashi Iizuka has like said multiple times that they want to focus on classic Sonic more than they like in a more natural way. Like he wants classic Sonic to be just as prevalent in the series as modern Sonic, but not in a way where it's like, okay, so classic Sonic is basically shares a game with him. He's in everything. Like we're getting a Generations 2 or Forces 2. No, we get standalone classic Sonic projects to coincide and hold us over for the main modern Sonic projects. And I think that's a genius plan. And if he was really serious about that, then talks about classic Sonic 2D game. It does it sounds accurate. It sounds pretty accurate. So what this game has been described as is a successor to the Rush series, not the Advance series, not the Genesis games, but the Rush duology for Nintendo DS. I haven't played Sonic Rush. I never played Sonic Rush Adventure. I have no clue how those games plays, but it was described as basically like kind of carrying over the spirit of those games, like how they played. And it will be a mobile game. I don't think any like leaks or talk of it is like being on consoles, which if that's the case, I gotta get a new phone because my phone it cannot handle anything. It can't even handle Sonic Dash, so I gotta freaking get a new phone to play this new Sonic mobile game. Hopefully they put it on like Chromebook or something. But I think this is neat. Obviously, the last time we had something like this was Sonic the Hedgehog 4, and that wasn't I think the less said about that, the better.
It was shit.
Yeah, it was kind of hot garbage, but I have more faith in this because for one, it's not called Sonic the Hedgehog 4, so that's a good sign right there already. And the second thing is it's gonna be like more harkening back to a more obscure part of like Sonic's history, which I find really interesting. What do you think in general of this whole 2D Sonic game talk?
Um, pretty much, I'm just looking forward to it. I'm excited to see what type of 2D Sonic game they're going for. I don't know if it's going to be like Mania levels of quality, if it will just be going back to original like 2D Sonic games from the old days, or they could decide to just randomly and for no reason at all go Sonic 4 on it, which I pray to God they don't. But
Oh
my
no.
hopes is that, or what I'm pretty much predicting is that they do somewhat of a Mania, but somewhat of an old game feel, kind of mixed in two in a way.
Yeah.
That's why I'd say for those two.
Yeah, it's really interesting, guys. It's really interesting. It's also like what sparks my interest is the fact that it's like trying to like be more like the Rush games out of any. Because I've played Sonic Advance, I've played the Genesis games, of course I have, guys. So I know how those play. I've never played Rush in my life, and a lot of people hold the Advance games as like really like overlooked, like peak classic Sonic, just great 2D games. So it's really they're not harkening back to the advanced style, and instead they're like, and again, none of this is confirmed. I could be completely wrong, and this can age like a sour milk left out in the hot sun. But this is just what we know so far, and what's been said, and it sounds really interesting. And I'm definitely going to buy it because I love 2D Sonic. I love 2D Sonic. I love 2D Sonic. I love Mono Sonic. I love all aspects of the franchise because I don't care what it is as long as it's good. And yeah, this seems pretty interesting. I hope it does come to consoles though. it'll be weird because okay, if it costs like maybe like $3 in the Play Store, then I don't know how much it would cost like on the console. I don't know what they would add to justify like maybe like a $15 price or like a $10 price. I hope whatever it is, I hope it's not episodic. That would be terrible. I don't know why. Whoever thought that was Sonic the Hedgehog 4, I don't know why in the world they freaking did that. No, just don't have it be episodic. Have it just be you get a game and then the game is there when it comes out. There we go. I think I love that. I love that idea.
I agree. Don't make
Um,
episodic.
yeah. But we'll have to wait and see, and I'm looking forward to it. So with all the information we just went over, we got Sonic Frontiers DLC and constant updates, even the hidden updates coming. We got more. The second and third batch of Prime episodes definitely releasing later this year. There's a whole Knuckles TV series we know absolutely nothing about. And there's talks that we'll also be getting a new 2D Sonic game. So with all that said, do you think this will be a good year for Sonic? Do you think it will just be a year, or do you think it will be a really underwhelming year, especially compared to what we had, just now of 2022? What do you think?
Honestly, I really hope it's a good year for Sonic. I don't really want to see another bad year for Sonic, mostly because of the past years he's had. So that's why I'm hoping this one's just going to be a good year.
Yeah, I like. Okay, I think it's gonna be a fine year. I don't think it's gonna be a meh year. I don't think it's gonna be a oh my god, dude, Sonic is back year. I think it's just gonna be a really good year. Like Takeshi Iizuka said, the main goal is for 2023 to keep the momentum going from 2022. So like, it's not gonna reach the same levels of hype, but it's going to keep the series active enough and engaging enough for like for like Sonic's like popularity as a brand to not die down. And with all these projects coming out, I think they're doing a good job. Like free updates for the mainline game that just put out. Like we're getting the next 2 seasons of a whole TV series, and then another TV series after that, and a 2D Sonic game in the same year. Yes, okay, I'm in. You won me over. Now all you gotta do is confirm Adventure remaster slash remakes, and who knows? Maybe you're cooking. Maybe you're cooking. Yeah, no, I think this will be a pretty neat year for the Blue Blur, and it's pretty awesome. Oh, and there's also IDW. You're not caught up. Are you caught up on IDW?
No, not really. I only buy comics just so I can get the mindset of what comics are really like because of other ideas and stuff, pretty much.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm. I'm like one issue in on IDW. I've seen Gamebox just speed readings on like the majority of the arcs, so it's not like I'm blind going in. But I only watched them cover up to the Metal Sonic arc, so I am completely blind with everything else. And I'm staying spoiler free, so there's really not much we can talk about in regards to like the comic series because we really know nothing about IDW at this moment. So yeah, but it will presumably also be a really cool year for comics. I really need to get caught up so I can read the comics along with, because it's always one of the greatest feelings whenever I'm just going through Twitter and I'm just seeing the entire fandom talk about like how cool the latest issue was, and everyone was just like talking about like their favorite moments and stuff. And then people are complaining about Sonic's characterization, and only to get caught up and be like, "Bro, shut the fuck up, stop complaining." And then it's typical Twitter discourse. But yeah, I want to be I want to be in that crowd. I want to be with everyone when like we're all celebrating the latest issue. But I gotta get through all the other ones first. Like I got 56 issues to read, and I got the whole Scrapnik miniseries by Daniel Bars that I was gotta read. So it's a lot, but I'm working through it. I'm working through it. But I think that pretty much does it. So, Gamebox, tell the people who you are, what you're cooking up, and your concluding thoughts.
Well, pretty much that's pretty much just been the episode right there. This is pretty much me doing my funny introductions. So no, not introductions. Conclusions, I should say. So yeah, I'm Gamebox. I'm currently currently editing a show that me and Sly are working on, and that's pretty much it.
All right, awesome. Hey guys, if you're watching this on the YouTube channel, you know who I am. you probably still know who I am because we've introduced ourselves last episode. But if you skipped that episode, just want to get to this one. Hey, I'm some random a-hole YouTuber who likes Sonic, and yeah, I right now I'm currently still going strong. Uploading a video every day on my YouTube channel. At the time this goes up, I should have just gotten some additional equipment, which opens up like so many possibilities for like cool content I can make. And yeah, and as of right now, I'm also writing my own original Sonic the Hedgehog story on Wattpad. And I think that's coming along pretty well. It's not like super professional. The writing is not like what you would see in like George R. R. Martin's work or anything, but I'm enjoying myself, and I think there's something there for people to like enjoy. So if you're interested, if you have Wattpad available, then feel free to read it. It'll be in the link in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. And yeah. So with that said, is there anything else you want to say before we end off Gamebox?
What do I want to say? Oh yeah, Sonic is alive. Just to let everyone know, he hates that line. It's so funny. I like taking the piss out of it.
Yeah, he's referring to the Lion Forces when Knuckles discovers that Sonic is indeed very much alive. Not
So
only
bad.
2 seconds into the game. Yeah,
So
see,
bad.
no matter look, guys, the message is that no matter what 2023 holds for us, it will not be as bad as 28. What year did the game come out? 2018, 17? Who knows? It doesn't matter.
2017.
Yeah,
That's
2017.
2017.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck forces. All right. We'll see you guys next episode. Bye.
All right. Ta-da.